So guys, I promise I would do videos of how an in-prime Manny Pacquiao would do against the current Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. So firstly, I'll do Errol Spence. How do I think an in-prime Pacquiao does against Errol Spence? Listen, I think it'll be a great fight. I think the in-prime Manny Pacquiao, the guy that was knocking out Ricky Hatton, the guy was beating up Miguel Cotto, that guy was dangerous. He was dangerous, and he would have been a nightmare for any fighter in the world, no matter how good his skills are. Listen, I think Spence would have caused issues, obviously with his size, with his boxing skills, with his speed, and it would have been a very tough fight, and a fight that Manny Pacquiao would have had to be careful in. But I do think that Pacquiao obviously had a lot of speed and power at that time. So Spence would have also had to be wary of him. It wouldn't have been a case where Spence could have just walked him down, because, you know, Pacquiao had the power to kind of put your lights out, especially at that time. It would have definitely been an intriguing fight, a fight that, you know, the fans would have been. It would have been treat for the fight fans. I think obviously Spence would have done what he normally does, but it would have been fascinating to see whether he would have been able to do that against Pacquiao. Whether at that Manny Pacquiao, that with the speed, the power, whether he would have still been able to walk him down and cause the issues that Spence does to most of the fighters today. My take on it is that I think Pacquiao would have beaten Spence. I do think Pacquiao would have bust him up. I think Pacquiao would have hit him with a lot of shots. He would have hit him with a lot of shots, and it would have been a very difficult fight for Errol Spence, because I don't think Errol Spence is technically as good as maybe as a Crawford, and I think Pacquiao would have boxed rings around him and would have been so fast. He would have been hitting with Errol Spence with so many shots. That I think it would have been difficult to stop Spence. Spence is quite tough, he's quite bigger, but Pacquiao at that time was beating up bigger guys and beating them up badly, so you wouldn't have been surprised if he stopped Spence late. But I definitely would have had Pacquiao winning that fight by decision for sure. And like I said, it wouldn't have shocked me if he had got a late stoppage against Spence as well, after taking so much, because Manny Pacquiao at that point he wasn't just beating guys, he was beating them up, and their face was getting badly marked up. Look at Margarito's face, his face was a mess. Look at Cotto's face, his face was a mess. And many guys that Pacquiao fought, they weren't just getting beaten, they were getting beaten up, where their face was a bloody mess, and they were looking in a very bad way. You know, their eyes, their face, their cheek, but everything was messed up when you fought Pacquiao. Pacquiao was so brutal at that time. His speed, his power, everything was so on point. His movement, it was just difficult. And I think a guy like Spence would have been in big trouble fighting the in-prime Manny Pacquiao. And I think the in-prime Pacquiao beats Errol Spence, just I think stylistically, and I think Pacquiao did well against guys like that. I just think Pacquiao would have beat him either by decision or by a late knockout. But leave your thoughts, guys. How do you think an in-prime Pacquiao would have done against the current Errol Spence? Leave your thoughts, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.